Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a torta with a snack habit. Bye. Let's get to the intro. Welcome back, and if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all, so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content I stay kicking, and I appreciate the support, right? I don't appreciate it, I appreciate it. I appreciate the support, right? Let's get humble, let's get real, let's talk a hot topic. So, I just seen the LA Times dropped an article. There was an indictment that went down where over 19 members from Southern California, people from Southern California, what their affiliation is none of my business. It's none of your business. But these guys were incarcerated. They were arrested. And it all stems from an incident that took place, I believe, in December. And I remember when that incident took place, people were all over the place with it. All the content creators. Some people were reporting that Swifty Blue, the LA rapper from Paramount, was stabbed in the LA County Jail. And other people were saying it was just a scuffle, a little fight, a fade. And then there was those that were saying it never happened. The incident never took place. Now, I understand the reasoning why people were saying that now. Then it was kind of like, I don't know. You know, did he get scraped or didn't he? Now, I'll say one thing, and this is real talk. I was always under the assumption that if he did get whacked, if he did get stabbed, and whacked and stabbed is the same thing, right? Some people don't make it back, some do. If he did get stabbed, he got very, very lucky, right? Because in the LA County Jail, not a lot of people survive getting cut up, getting metal put in them, right? Now, obviously, this pegada that happened, this stabbing, I didn't know the reasoning behind it. There was a lot of rumors. And rumors are just that, rumors. Just like this indictment, it's based upon rumors and based upon one jailhouse snitch indicating individuals and implicating individuals' involvement in this. Now, we do know that there was an incident that took place. Swifty Blue allegedly was stabbed. The reasoning behind it, that will have to come out in the court. And, you know, in the indictments, it reads that, you know, several individuals conspired to eliminate Swifty Blue. Now, usually when you're a gang member, and this is why I say it's a fine line between being a gang member and a rapper nowadays. Back in the days, we could tell the difference. Nowadays, it's hard. The lines are blurred. You got a lot of real life gang members that are really in the streets doing that, rapping. You know, we all know Swifty Blue fucked up. We all know that he was on the internet, on social media, acting a fool, acting brazy, right? Doing too much. Now, at this point in time, he's toned it down a lot. He has made disrespectful records and albums towards other rappers in Southern California. But again, that's just rap music. That's just disrespect to a level of other individuals that could bang on wax. They can come back and go back and forth. He's disrespected Lefty Gunplay. He's disrespected Chito Ranas. He's disrespected several other guys, right, in the rap game. But that's rap. Now, when you're a gang member, it becomes real life and it has real life cause and effects. And whatever Swifty Blue was doing back in the days, and I could tell you the whole check-in bullshit, where he was the king of LA, of Paramount, and you had to check in with him. I could see it how some people would take that as a form of disrespect. Who was he? This little Porky the Pig looking motherfucker, right? Running around LA telling people that they needed to check in with him or else what? Now, anyone who's been incarcerated and been around real Southsiders or done real time around real individuals, you understand that type of shit is not to be played with. Those that are in control, and that's it. They don't need to be spoken on. Their names don't need to be brought up. No one needs to identify them. None of that. If in fact you need to have respect, because if not, there will be repercussions. Sometimes not even having respect or just not even paying attention is disrespect. So it's a thin line. It's thin ice. You have to know how to walk on it. Now, I was very torn over doing this video, and the reason, and ultimately I landed on, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it respectfully. This indictment that came down, 19 individuals. Some of them in the county jail and some of them outside the county jail are thought to have allegedly conspired to kill Swifty Blue. Now, I remember when Swifty Blue got locked up, I was like, damn, he's in trouble. He's in trouble because some of the remarks he made, not through rap music, but in real life on social media. And I think it stems from one incident, man, where he was running up on people, tattoo checking and just throwing his weight around. And maybe doing it in a jokingly manner and doing it for cause and effect, doing it, for views or to go viral. But at the same time, you can't do that. You can't play on what people really are incarcerated for life. People have made the sacrifice. See, that's why these YouTube content creators that continually talk about gang members and make light of what they do and don't know how to keep it respectful, but, downgrade them or shit on them or disrespect them. Maybe not now, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually you're going to pay the piper. You're going to have to meet someone who's going to question the reasoning why you were doing that, why you were taking something that they were dedicated to or something that they were involved in and making fun of it. Can't do that. Now, Swifty Blue did a lot of different things. And for a while, his name was hot. It was on fire. And there was a lot of people running their neck on social media saying, oh, man, when he gets to this place or he goes to that place, he's through. I never promoted that propaganda. And the reason I chose not to was I would hate to see the demise of someone who it seems like wasn't educated enough to make conscious decisions. It seemed like Swifty Blue didn't understand just how real it gets. For someone who proclaims in his rap music, oh, it can get real. I'm going to up the pole. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. No, there's people really doing that. There's people really involved to a certain level like that. And you cannot run around and make fun of and it's disrespectful to play gangster. You got a lot of people that are getting tattoos on their face. They're getting the Punches Pilot haircut. They're painting their fingernails and they're playing gangster. You got guys like that D. Kane kid. He's sparkly, right? He's playing gangster with a 13 on his face. And I've said it over and over again. That tattoo doesn't come lightly and it doesn't come off lightly. You cannot run around representing these numbers of these big gangs, even if you're associated at some level. If you're like Lush, you're an honorary gangster, right? You can't do this because those that have made the ultimate sacrifice, those that are really doing time, those that are involved in the real thing, don't like it. Now, it is alleged in this indictment, and 19 people were arrested from all over the Southern California, right? Different gangs, different barrios. And again, this is all alleged because this is an ongoing investigation, and it's a very high-ranking ongoing investigation in Southern California. And it's alleged that one individual conspired with all these guys to commit a murder upon Swifty. Now, whether that's true or not, that's up to the court system to decide. I'll say this. I've been involved to a certain level around things and been privy to conversations in the background and see how easily someone's name can get ran through the mud or someone could fuck up. Being a norteño at the time that I used to be in juntas, involved behind the scenes on a lot of things that would blow your mind. And just listening to the reasons of why someone was going to get removed or why the homie was in bad standings. And we're talking about dudes that I busted spreads with, dudes that I busted down with, worked out, selled up with. And to find out that one simple mistake, one simple flaw, one simple not jumping up and handling business, one simple just thinking about it can put him in bad standings depending upon the individuals that he was around. There's no games being played. Ultimately, what happens out on the streets, 99% of the time doesn't affect what's going on in prison. But if you are claiming to be a face of something, if you're claiming to be a face of LA or the Northern California King or this or that, and you're not respecting those who are behind the walls involved in the struggle, you're making light of it. Well, they're going to make light of you and you are going to be non-existent and you're not going to last too long in the game because you're not playing it right. I've always said to people, youngsters, this is the way I used to lace them up. I used to be like, hey, pin your ears back, homie. If you go to prison, don't get aggressive, be aggressive, right? You don't have to talk about it, be about it. You don't have to be all involved in the mix. You don't have to be the first one to raise your hand. Just know that when the time comes, make it your time. Like Morris Day, homie, hit him with that jungle love, right? Do your thing. Get brazy on them, get crazy on them. But you don't need to be involving yourself in things that don't involve you, and especially talking about it. Now, with this, there's going to be a lot of people torn. There's going to be a lot of he said, she said in this case. Okay. And ultimately, it comes down to one jailhouse snitch. And obviously this guy had to be somebody to be privy to these conversations he's alleging were had concerning Swifty. Now, I'll say this. Swifty being touched up in the county jail, I'm not surprised. Swifty Blue being hit with a piece, I'm not surprised. I'm surprised he was able to survive this attack. I'm surprised that he was able, with what they're alleging, and this is why I don't believe this conspiracy, and I'll explain to you why. I've been around enough individuals, enough Southsiders in Southern California to understand when they handle business, they don't play. Okay? You don't play with them dudes. Not at all. When it comes to the point that metal's getting pulled out, signed, sealed, delivered. It's yours. You're done, right? I don't see how it was as serious as the federal government is making it, as serious as the sheriff's department is making it, and this big old conspiracy theory that these guys were trying to take this dude out, right? And him being able to walk away just doesn't happen. Okay, especially in the most treacherous, dangerous jail in the United States, the LA County Jail. You know, dudes are getting whacked in the LA County Jail for not making their bed right. So you would think that if someone had something on him to the level they're saying Swifty Blue did, that he wouldn't have never walked out of that county jail. Now, maybe it wasn't his time. Maybe it just didn't work out. Maybe people jumped the gun. Maybe. It's always a lot of maybes, right? Well, just doing the time the way I've done it around the individuals that I have, maybes don't really count. There's usually no maybe. It's just pura. It's just for sure. It's for reals. It's for keeps, right? It's not for plays. So with that being said, either Swifty is the luckiest motherfucker on the planet to walk into the LA County Jail with that type of animosity being aimed towards him for whatever reason, which I don't believe, right? And he's just very lucky, or it just wasn't done correctly, which it's hard for me to believe, knowing the Southsiders and how they get down and get off, right? Now, being that a jailhouse snitch is being accredited to bringing this to light, to getting 19 people arrested or indicted on this case, which is something they've been working on for a while, because this incident happened a while ago, right? I thought it was done and over with. To be honest with you, I thought, looking at Swifty, I was like, there's no way he got stabbed. He probably got beat up. He probably got a chequeada. You know what I'm saying? A DP is another word for it. A calientada. He got beat up a little bit, beat up on for disrespect and the way he was carrying himself. Because it seemed like after Swifty got out, he disappeared for a while. Remember, he was in Arizona getting Sprite bottles thrown at him. He was in Texas. He was all over the place. He was making Christian songs for a minute. That was in a boxing ring talking about God, I love you, right? His attitude changed. So he got an eye awakening experience. And I figured, okay, he got touched up. He's like, fuck that, bro. I don't want that to happen again. I'm not one of those dudes that gets the annual DP, right? There are those that do, but that's not him. And because I started to see him around Chito Ranas and other Southsiders, I figured, okay, he was back in good graces, meaning he was still functioning, going around his neighborhood, doing his thing. You know, I paid it no never mind. But now all of a sudden, LA Times reports this documentation was thrown out there. 19 guys from all over Southern California were arrested for conspiracy to conspire to hurt this dude in the most vicious fashion. I'm not going to get into the details ultimately of who they're saying was behind this. I'll say this. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Southsiders have always been known to move in silence, to just get off where they're mad at, right? You know, you don't find out until it's too late. And so for this many people to be looking for this guy or to be involved, how was this guy able just to function in bars and clubs, music venues, music videos, just wiggling around his neighborhood, taco shops, handing out turkeys? I mean, he's been around. He wasn't a hard individual to find. Allegedly, he was being tracked on social media for his whereabouts. I call that bullshit, because this guy posted every day where he was at, his location pretty much. So it doesn't seem like it was what the authorities are trying to make it out to be. I think they're putting a little bit too much tapatio on it, to tell you the truth, right? Again, this is a high-power situation because of the people that are involved in it. And again, this is an ongoing investigation. all accredited and based upon some jailhouse snitch. Now, of course, dudes are going to take the opportunity when they're caught up or they drop out or they fall off to debrief or, let people know what was going on around them. When asked, hey, do you know about any alleged crimes? Do you know about anything that happened? This guy could have been in the county jail when Swifty Blue got touched up, because I honestly believe Swifty got touched up to some degree. Stabbed, I don't know. Right? Like I said, there was a lot of people saying he did, a lot of people saying he did it. I pay that no, never mind. The fact is that man's still breathing and walking around. Now, here's another question. Are individuals going to be mad at Swifty Blue all over again? I don't think so. I think if Swifty Blue does ultimately pull up to the court and tell the truth and say, man, ain't nothing happened to me like that. Man, these dudes didn't do nothing to me like that. They could be all right. There's a lot of people that got at me in the DMs and they're like, hey, Gun, is Swifty in trouble now? Is Swifty in trouble? Why is Swifty in trouble? He didn't fucking make the indictment. He doesn't work for the feds. At no point in time in that LA Times article did it say Swifty Blue said anything. So before people start jumping the gun and calling him a snitch and he reported it and he told, it says a jailhouse informant, man, not Swifty Blue, okay, decided to speak on things. And he's saying things that Swifty wouldn't have been privy to, period, if that's what it was. He wouldn't have been privy to guys looking for him or this or that, He could have made assumptions, but I hardly believe, not even a little bit, that had anything to do with Swifty. So before people try to get this guy in worse trouble than he already is or compile bullshit on him or call him a rat or this and that, hold your horses, bro. You know what I'm saying? Hold the press. Stop the music. Don't necessarily put someone in harm's way because the shit gets tricky and real, obviously. So now with Swifty Blue, I'll say this, if that was the case, it's a lesson to be learned. A two-part course, a two-part lesson. The first, you don't disrespect anyone. You don't sit around a table like fucking Blue Devil disrespecting Southsiders. You don't think you are something you are not or proclaim to be. You don't ask people or tell people, whether it's laughing, funny or not, to check in, because you'll get checked in or checked out. Okay? And this is from all sides, man. I've seen it happen up north. I see it happen down south. Like, dudes ain't playing no games, bro. You are not bigger than the program. You are never bigger than the program. Now, I'm not going to say the program participated in this like the fucking authorities are alleging, but it's definitely got 19 people and maybe even more caught up behind the fact that someone allegedly got stabbed in the county jail. And they're only making it an issue because it was Swifty Blue. It says big time rapper. We know that's a lie, right? Now, shout out Swifty. He could rap like a motherfucker. We just mentioned him yesterday in the live. And I had already read this article, and I got to say that, and I'm towing the line here, man. I honestly don't believe it's as big as they're making it. I think they're using this as an opportunity, and I think that jailhouse snitch uses it as an opportunity to give some people up, to try to make something bigger than it was. And I honestly believe, man, just from my point of view, that he just went in there and got checked. Now, if there's other people that are going to run their mouths on the internet and try to make it seem like it was some big old conspiracy green light thing, that's on them, man. That's on the way they want to take the story. Me, myself, I analyze everything, and I just don't see Swifty Blue walking out of the LA County jail, especially being in a module with a whole bunch of Southsiders that want to get him with knives. Doesn't happen. Not feasible. Anything is possible. But man, trying to navigate the LA County jail with a green light is virtually impossible, right? Unless he was in protective custody, which I don't believe he was. Obviously, they got to him. Somebody. I'm just going to say, take this for what you want. There are 19 people, though, sitting down now because of it. And I'm sure they're upset, highly upset. And there's going to be a lot of controversy going around. A lot of people saying Swifty said this or Swifty said that. I don't believe so. I believe one jailhouse snitch took it upon himself to fabricate this big old story to get people caught up because he was no longer in good standings. And that's unfortunate that people do that. I've even seen people that take a step back. They fell off. They decided, hey, I don't want to gangbang no more. It's not for me. And then they're all mad at the active gang members because they can't participate no more. Motherfucker, you made a choice, or you got removed because of choices you made. Stop it already. Okay, you can't be them. They don't want you. See, me, myself, when I went out to that yard and I did what I had to do, I understood what I was doing. I was willing to ride that out to the honeycomb, hide that out. And I try to keep it as respectful as possible, even though some dudes still take it as disrespect. And I'm on my toes, but at the same time, it's not the way it is with me. With Swifty Blue, man, more power to him. I hope he remains safe and remains vigilant and remains silent. That's all I could say. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive for what I truly believe in. That's the betterment of all people. The gun.